Peacekeepers or Bandits by Morrow. Farmer Ishael Matten was travelling on the road north of Nebu village with a wagon full of trade goods when he claims a party of ruffians blocked his passage. They called themselves the Peacekeepers and bore writs and badges from the White Mantle, but Matten claims they were little more than brigands. Their leader was a grizzled hag of a woman with a cob pipe, Matten said, and the rest were little more than degenerate, filthy bandits, none of them Krytan born. These peacekeepers searched Matten's wagon under the pretense of looking for contraband. When the ruffians found a shiny mirror and some moa meat they fancied, they confiscated them as tithe for passage and sent the poor farmer on his way. Farmer Matten's tale of highwaymen with official sanctions from the White Mantle is chilling, but it's not the first such story this scribe has heard. That is so weird. Just as I started filming this, I put my old headset on and started filming it like I used to when I first started the series. That is so weird. I wonder if that's because I'm back here in Kryta. Anyway, hi guys, and welcome to another video. That there, I wanted to open this video with this big shot of this big random building out here, because that's actually quite important later in the story of the war in Kryta. I won't say any more than that, but it's pretty cool. So hi, we're in Lion's Arch, episode 2, I know, but we're finally in Kryta. At the end of the last video, I said that we'd basically finished all the prerequisite stuff, and that is true, really, in my eyes. But the quests we're about to see in this video, technically, I suppose you could say, were before the war in Kryta. Basically, one thing that I missed out on mentioning is that in 2009, War in Kryta started getting released in 2010, but in 2009, ArenaNet, seemingly randomly, but it all ties in quite heavily, released a new hero with his own quests to do, and they added sort of a whole new storyline with this new hero, and basically you want to, I don't think you necessarily have to have completed these quests, but they're quite important for the story. There's no way I'd miss these out, so that's what we're going to be doing in this video, and these quests do partly, thank God, take place in Kryta, so thank Christ for that. We can actually be in Kryta for this video. So, first thing I want to do, actually, should we... Yeah, alright, so basically, if we come over here, now that we've completed Eye of the North and Prophecies, we'll find this guy here, Morrow. In fact, he offers this to you during... as soon as you finish the Prophecies main storyline, he'll offer this to you, but you can't really do much with it unless you've at least got Eye of the North and travelled there somewhat. So, basically, this guy here, yes, this is the guy writing the War Chronicles that you're going to be seeing at the start of a few of the videos of this series. By no stretch of the imagination is every single video going to have those intros, because there's not enough, but when they're important, they'll definitely be there. But basically, this is Morrow. After the viral marketing campaign for the War in Kryta was finished, ArenaNet, as the updates were going live in the game, kept updating their website in a special page on their website with this guy basically writing about the events that are happening and writing about essentially the updates that were coming out. It was really, really cool, so I'm really happy to be able to bring that to you guys, because I know for a fact a lot of people who played War in Kryta will have no idea that those things exist, which is really what this channel is about, showing you the little things that you don't really know exist. So we'll speak to Morrow anyway. And he says the conflict in Kryta is escalating into civil war. If you are a true ally of Kryta, you will rally to her cause, and we can say that we'll take care of it. That basically, by adding that, we now have the overarching War in Kryta primary quest. Now, when War in Kryta was first coming out, this quest didn't actually exist. The whole point of War in Kryta when the updates were coming out was it was really the fans looking around and just seeing what had changed in Kryta and going on massive hunts and finding out what was happening. It was really exciting because it was also mysterious and you didn't know what ArenaNet had added to the game. There was no quest like this just sort of leading you through everything. However, when all was said and done and the whole thing had been released, ArenaNet did a few months later come back and say, hey look, we'll add an overarching quest for those players who maybe aren't so into exploring every nook and cranny, and this way they'll actually have something to guide them through the content. The one problem with this overarching quest, however, is that it doesn't take you to see all of the War in Kryta stuff. There's so much more to the War in Kryta than the stuff that this quest shows you, and it's such a shame. But obviously, we get to see it all anyway. So we will basically be following this vaguely, but we'll be doing we'll be seeing all the stuff, not just the stuff that's required, as this quest will point you to. Okay, so we're actually going to ignore that because, as I said, we're going to be doing other stuff outside of what that quest says, and we're going to walk out here to say hello to someone. Someone we've seen so many times in the Let's Play. What I was actually planning to do for the start of this video, yeah, Mox, M-O-X, okay? What I was actually planning to do for the start of this video was, and I did do this, I went to every single video that I knew we'd seen Mox before in the Let's Play, and there's about 5 or 6 of them, and I downloaded them, and I was going to do like a little montage of all the times that we've seen Mox, and all the times I've mentioned him and said, oh no, he's not a part of the story yet, he's mysterious, we'll leave him for later, and I edited it all together, but it ended up looking a bit crap, so never mind. We'll just see him here. This is MOX. If you've been following my channel for a long time, you will have seen me vaguely walk past him so many times and mention him so many times. Well, here he is at last, and we can speak to him. So this is the quest chain we're about to do, or single quest, really, that was added in 2009, just before the war in Kryta. So, MOX. He says, "You are the one." I don't know whether I'll do a voice for him. I imagine him to have a very distinctive robot voice. Anyway, he says, "Mox may be smaller than the average golem, but he's more than makes up for it with his superior technology developed by Asuran inventor Zinn." Right, okay, and he hands us a golem manual. You'll see in our... Oh, I've got to clean out my inventory. You'll see this golem manual here, right? And this is basically how we start this quest. He's been unlocked as a hero. I probably will use him through the War in Kryta stuff. I've been thinking about the heroes I want to use. I want to use Haida, because she is a part of the Shining Blade. We met her in Eye of the North, but she's a paragon. And she's going to suck so bad. This is content added after Eye of the North, and ArenaNet did make it harder. They've made it easier since then, but so you do need quite a strong team to be able to complete this, and I don't know. I like Haida. She fits in with the storyline, but meh. Gwen's a big part of War in the Kryta as well, but the story kind of assumes that she's not in our party as we play through it, so I won't be playing with Gwen, in case you're wondering about that. So, but yeah, we may as well add MOX. That actually means I can kick Matt, because that seemed a bit weird anyway. So we'll add Mox. There's lots of golems. They're all MOX or GOX or RX. Just, I'm going to be calling them Mox. I'm sorry if that annoys you guys, but it just, I can't stand reading out the individual letters. But there we go. That's just the way I've always read them out loud. Right, so this manual here. This guy called Zinn, this random golem out in the middle of nowhere. You can find him in factions. He's outside Kyning Center. You can find him in Nightfall. He's outside Kamadan, and he speaks to players. In order to get this quest, by the way, you need to have bought. Initially, the quest chain came out to encourage players who only owned one of the campaigns, or two of the campaigns. If you own everything, then you can get him. So you need to own all of the content in Guild Wars to actually be able to get this. And then he'll come to you, and he'll speak to you. I think you have to be level 10 maybe for that to happen, actually. Oh no, you don't, because when we were on Matt, we were way less than level 10. But in any case, he'll come and he'll visit us. So very, very weird. Now, this guy called Zinn. We've never seen Zinn in-game, however, I did mention him in Eye of the North. Let's double-click the book. So, Golem User Manual. Right, an introduction. What is going on here? I love the image of Mox there, by the way. That's so cool. So, here we go. There's a random guy here. This is Zinn, I'm assuming at least. He says, "If you're reading this, you have met the parameters to activate Mox. My name is Zinn. I'm the foremost Golemancer in the world. Certainly far more advanced than my former mentor, Ula. She is a child compared to my great intellect. Holding me back, she was. Told me my ideas were unethical. Pah, I struck out on my own, leaving her only that simpleton Blim to assist her." Right, okay, let me just stop right here. These are the three characters. Blim, Ula, we know Ula, of course. She is, as far as she regards, the greatest Golemancer. She helped us in Eye of the North to create the golems. Her baffling idiot of an assistant, Blim, hangs out with her, goes around her lab. Okay, that's the two we met in Eye of the North. Now we've got a third guy, Zinn, who was at Ula's, but now he's left. These three guys are so key, particularly Blim, and it's brilliant that Blim becomes the star of the show because he's such a moron. But these guys are so key to how golems are developed over the next 250 years. We all know they're a huge part of Guild Wars 2 and Asuran culture in Guild Wars 2. These three, this is where it is all at. It's brilliant. Okay, so this will be expanded in the War in Kryta. So, until recently, my business thrived. I cultivated an impeccable reputation manufacturing custom golems, and I will not allow some minor difficulties to destroy everything I've built. You see, I am trapped by my own genius. A prisoner to my greatness, in short. I am forced to request the assistance of lesser beings. Okay, so yeah, he sounds very typically Asuran. So, the job. Big scary golem thing looking there. Right, the job. That's what started this whole fiasco. My entire business has been built on the backs of eccentric clients, so it never even occurred to me to turn away the stranger when he appeared. He had a most curious request, but again, I was not about to refuse a paying customer, so I obliged the dastardly fellow. He even brought along a custom power crystal to be used in the construction of a golem. This perhaps should have raised a red flag, but free parts are free parts, especially when I can still charge full price. But I swear, had I known the extent of the evil to which I was contributing, I would have halted construction immediately, or at least built in more safeguards. As it was, I laboured for weeks on end to complete what, in my hubris, I believed was my ultimate masterpiece. But in my hour of greatness, that masterpiece became my downfall. Alright, so there's going to be, in this storyline, it's only in this quest chain, there's a mysterious antagonist, basically, this guy, right? Well, actually, let's read the first page before I talk about that. Okay, so the betrayal. As I set aside my tools and turned to survey my work, the ROX golem powered up unexpectedly. To my horror, the great beast snatched me up and the stranger appeared from nowhere to inform me that I was now under his control. He left Rox to watch me as I continued working on 2 other commissioned works, but with certain modifications. In due time, I completed these other 2 golems in the image of Rox, their true master. However, even with Rox watching my every move, I was able to outwit the malevolent machine. The great Zinn shall not be slighted without retribution. I prolonged my completion while secretly modifying one of my other projects, the Mox Golem. He is now my greatest creation. I was even able to synchronize multiple power crystals for a single purpose. Yes, Mox is the first dual-core golem in existence. Brilliant, I love that little joke. Unfortunately, I had to salvage parts from an earlier golem named Gox, including his power supply. I replaced it with an older, slightly damaged crystal of questionable origins, which has caused some strange behaviours, but that is beside the point. Okay, so yeah, this page, this mysterious perpetrator, this antagonist, this bad guy, this person will forever remain a stranger. There's never been a quest that has explained who this person is, but whoever this is with these evil intentions that ends up manipulating Zinn in this way, seems to be quite a powerful person, and you see the repercussions of what this person does. We don't know their motivations or anything, but whenever new quests come out, like obviously Guild Wars Beyond is continuing to be released as I film this, whenever new stuff comes out, people always try and link back to this mysterious person. People seem to think he's going to be a big character in the future. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but on the lore forums and stuff like this is what a lot of people speculate about. They wonder who the mysterious antagonist is, and whenever something else goes wrong in the world, they always say, oh, maybe it's the same person. I don't know, it's a cool idea, I like it, but just something to think about as we go through the war in Kryta and consider that this person does exist and maybe they do have a greater role in the story at some point. So next page. I have no doubt you'd take great comfort in knowing the mightiest golem ever created is now in your possession. However, MOX comes with a price. You may keep the golem, but you must complete a small task of grave importance for me. While slaving away for ROX's mysterious master, I keep swapping between the way I say those, I was able to discern their sinister plot. Both golems I was forced to assemble have a hidden singular purpose: assassination. And these particular assassinations will surely create chaos in the 3 great kingdoms of Tyria. Within days of arriving at their destinations, hidden directives programmed into the Pox and Nox golems will activate and they will move to fulfill their missions. Nox will kill his owner, Prince Bokka, and then move on to the other princes of Vavi. Pox will make haste to the Imperial Sanctum and do away with Emperor Kisu. In addition, the evil Rox has stolen every spare golem in my lab and marched out towards the Temple of the Aegis to kill Princess Salma. These things must not happen. My entire reputation depends on it. Thus, I love how he doesn't care. It's just his own reputation. Brilliant. My entire reputation depends on it. Thus, I offer you Mox in good faith, expecting you to use him and to preserve my reputation and save the great nobles of the world. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll do it for your reputation and not for those primarily. The Lair. If, however, owning the single most advanced Asuran golem ever created is not enough of a prize to entice you to do the right thing, I am also prepared to pay you quite handsomely should you visit me in my secret underground lair upon completion of this task. Bring Mox with you, as he will be able to bypass the security protocols. Of course, I cannot reveal the location of my lair should this gift fall into the wrong hands, so you'll have to strain that pea-sized intellect of yours and discover my location on your own. I include one hint. Stop when it hurts. And the real biggest hint is this image here. This is a screenshot of a real place in the world. If you know where that is, I did mention it when we were playing Prophecies. Kudos to you. If you haven't actually played this before, if you haven't, you know where it is, then don't spoil it. But we will be going there later. It's a pretty cool scavenger hunt to find that. So yeah, there you go. That's the book. Oh, I'm an idiot. So basically, what you can do to actually start and continue the quest. Where is my I key? That's P. There it is. Jesus. You will have noticed that you can click enter mission here. If we do it, oh, the party's too large. We're gonna have to kick him. Do we have to add MOX? I think we might have to. Let's see, enter mission. So we're now travelling to the Golem tutorial simulation. You might think, oh, is this in Zinn's lair? This is a bit weird. I don't know how we're supposed to get here. Whether like Mox has got some inbuilt teleporter or something, but we get here somehow in the end anyway. And the image is of the Maguma jungle, but the place we go to is actually Boreal Station. If you can recognise this, that's the gate that was actually blown up by Vec and is mysteriously working again. But whatever. You get these little bit golems. These are so cool. I don't think you can speak to them. But yeah, and over here we've got an image of Zinn, so we don't actually get to meet Zinn himself. Also, yeah, Mox is big. The reason why a lot of people like him, and the reason why a lot of people don't like him, is how big he is, because he can obscure your vision completely. He really stands out, but he also obscures the crap out of everything. One of the reasons why I played Prophecy solo was because I like playing zoomed in. You will have noticed I haven't done it much since Eye of the North, and that's because when you play zoomed in, if you're playing with heroes, they just get in the way of the screen constantly, so... But I will try and play zoomed in as much as I can. If we've got him in the party the whole time, though, that you can imagine nobody really wants to see just his arse constantly or the middle of his back. But anyway, so here's Zinn. We'll flag MOX over there. Zinn, what's up, buddy? So this is a difficulty master quest. To preserve Zinn's reputation as well as the great kingdoms of Tyria, you must find and deactivate the Rocks, Nox, and Pox golems. The reward is huge: 50,000 experience, 10,000 gold, 10 summoning stones, and 10 tonics. Tonics weren't that popular or widely available when this quest first came out. I think most of the tonics were just from the Zacian chest, so this was a really cool reward at the time. In fact, I remember Doombox, who he still kind of is, I guess, but he used to be really big with the Guild Wars tutorial videos. Like, he did a whole video basically just recommending people to complete this quest on everyone, because you'd get 10,000 gold each time. So, which is a huge reward, it really is, especially back then. Saving Asura's reputation, what a noble cause. I'm in. So yeah, like I said, the huge rewards probably owes to the fact that ArenaNet were just trying to encourage players to buy all of the campaigns and stuff, like a last ditch kind of please give us money while we're developing Guild Wars 2 kind of thing, before they finally decided they were going to start selling costumes and cosmetic stuff in the in-game store.
Most curious.
So we can actually speak to him about a lot of stuff. Greetings, Chosen One. I'm interested in a bit of training on how to command your golem hero, or is there something else you needed? See, this is crazy, right? Like, they do this, they really do. But it's only one hero, but there is a chance that a player who's only played Prophecies will try and do this quest. So they need a tutorial, and they have to they had to write all of this crap out. So it's pretty nuts. I would like to run the golem tutorials. I don't really think we need to see any of this. None of this is lore friendly, and we already know how heroes work, so let's just click we want to leave. It will take you back to Lion's Arch or whatever town you'd come from, and we can continue on. So here we go. We've got to retrieve Roxes, Noxes, and Poxes. Now, one of the things is at the Temple of the Aegis, okay, right? So I could, in theory, just teleport there using map travel, and that would be that. However, I'm not going to do this the whole series, okay? However, I want the War in Kryta. Let's add our heroes first. There we go. War in Kryta. As I said, when the updates were coming out for this, War in Kryta was very much a small update would happen. ArenaNet wouldn't really announce what had happened in the update. They might release the War Chronicles from Morrow, but you'd be on your own and you'd be off exploring. So basically, now that we're in the War in Kryta, all the spawns, everything that's happening in Kryta in all the explorable areas has changed. It's completely changed. You'll get allies come with you. There are completely new enemies here. There are new quests that will become available as we continue through. Loads and loads and loads of stuff has changed. In fact, when you saw me here, when we started Eye of the North, some Shining Blade joined me through Kryta, and that's because now the Civil War is on. We're 8 years down the line. So everything's changed. That's so cool. That's them actually taking advantage. So here you go. Look, someone drops down from this tree here. Scout Melathoran. Most of the people we'll be meeting so this guy's scouting for information. Mind if I tag along with you for a time? Most of the people we'll be meeting were characters we met in Prophecies, and I'll probably point out where they were from. This guy I can't actually specifically remember, but a lot of, we will be mentioning that as we go through. You can see on his chest he's got the Shining Blade emblem. That's so cool. Alright, yeah, so basically what happened was all of the output explorables changed, and particularly when the content was first being released, ArenaNet basically you'd go out and there wouldn't be much changes, but there'd be weird little events happening here and there, and you just go off and find them. So this is one of the reasons why I say if you just follow the overarching quest, you miss a lot of stuff, because you just map travel around. So for a little while, and you know, I won't do it constantly, but for whenever I see the opportunity arises for us to go through a new explorable area, I'm not going to map travel, I'm going to walk, so that we get to see some of the new content that we might otherwise have missed. So basically, instead of just map traveling on this first occasion straight to the Temple of the Aegis, let's pretend we can't do that, and we're just going to go and explore and enjoy Kryta. Because this is the thing, right? This is very odd, because this is the first time we're playing a new campaign, but in areas we've already been. So whereas regularly you'd be forced to walk through these areas and see all the new stuff, now you could theoretically miss a hell of a lot of it. So I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, we've seen the areas before, but a lot of the content in the areas should be different. Actually, I'm not 100% sure how different it will be just yet, because it's staggered, right? As you go through the quest, more stuff will happen. So right now, these are still just these crappy fire imps all over the place that we can just absolutely devastate. But as we do go through the quest, it will get more. It will just build up and up and up and up and up. It's really cool, and this is, in my eyes, the best way that I can sort of show you guys all the. I was so exciting. It's not going to be the same now that I know what's going on, but like, we're talking about 6 months maybe tops before I started the Let's Play. Like literally before that, this was all the new content for me then. This is all the new, and it had been so long since we'd seen Eye of the North. It was so exciting just every day on the forums, man. Like reading about Guild Wars 2, but also watching just like the Guild Wars Beyond forum, making sure that any updates had happened, talking about what would be happening. It was so cool. And going out and exploring and seeing all the cool stuff people had found. There's obviously plenty of new rewards here as well. Like when you start killing the new mobs and stuff, you get like chances for really unique mini pets and greens and shit. It's so cool. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm hoping to do. We will be seeing Kryta. I mean, I like Kryta. It's been sufficiently long enough, unless you're sitting there and you've just watched through all of my videos like in the last week, in which case congratulations. I don't even think that's possible anymore. But if you'd actually done that, then maybe you'd be bored of Kryta at the moment because you'd seen it so recently. But I mean, generally, I'm justifying it that way, and I've spent so long talking about why I've justified it, probably making it out to be a bigger deal than it is. Anyway, so these are the Tengu, and we're just going to keep walking through. Yeah, like I said the other video, like the Tengu, I mean, it all kind of starts with the Tengu, really, on that first little thing with the Princess Salma, like being there, and it was the Tengu that first had interacted with her, or had something to do with the royalty not coming to power. But aside from that, that's it. I mean, they're a huge part of this region of the world in Guild Wars 2 as well. It's no coincidence that I did like that scenic shot showing the Wizard's Tower in the distance. I mean, this is really, I mean, no, I can't. It wouldn't be fair of me to say that the Tengu are only around Kryta and interior, because you know they've got quite a big presence in the Shiver Peaks as well. But of course, that's a really mysterious area in Guild Wars 2 as well. I mean, I haven't talked about this much, but this whole section here of the southern Shiver Peaks, it's almost like it's not actually mountainous anymore, or it's mountainous but there's no snow there anymore. It's got an entirely new name. It's called the Steam Spur Mountains. I mean, the dwarves are now alright, yeah, so there's obviously going to be spoilers. The dwarves are now extinct. Come Guild Wars 2, they're extinct, right? Essentially. So basically what this means is you've got a huge vacuum of who's inhabiting these areas. Of course, Jormag appears to the north and forces the Norn down, and they inhabit the northern Shiver Peaks, where we saw, you know, the dwarves were before. However, so I wonder what the Norn make of Anvil Rock, actually. It's quite interesting to think about. But however, the southern Shiver Peaks, who's going to be there? Well, what else do you guys know were in the southern Shiver Peaks? Well, I'll tell you, if you remember Sorrow's Furnace stuff, it's the Dredge, right? So the Dredge are now there. That's kind of their thing now. Now, the southern Shiver Peaks is there, and they've been renamed to the Steam Spur Mountains. It's kind of odd. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. If we come over here, I'm sure that, yeah, we'll come up. You remember the Ascalonian settlement? That's also another quite a cool thing. They really did quite well with this in the War in Kryta to incorporate that into the plot, because theoretically it shouldn't be about the Ascalonian settlement anymore. They're just sort of people in the background, but there's quite a few cool things that happen there. All right, so here we go. Imagine that you're just a player, there's been an update, you're like, what the hell's going on, what's this viral marketing campaign? You have a little bit of a walk around Kryta, and then you see this on the road. Some peacekeepers. Hey, peacekeepers. They say to us, and just where do you think you're going? And these are perfectly new models as well, these horrible looking things here. We say, the Ascalonian settlement. Show me your travel permit, they say. Well, we're not actually going to the Ascalonian settlement, but whatever. Permit? I have no permit. Yeah, we never needed a permit to get through here before. Then you are hereby under arrest for travelling without a travel permit. Lay down your weapons and come with us peacefully. How about no? Do we just get to fight them straight away? Do we even reply? That is preposterous! Never before have I needed a permit to travel freely through Kryta. Now stand aside and let me through. Yeah, I've kind of, you know, killed a dragon champion. I've kind of defeated a god. Let me through. Yeah, well, things change, don't they? And now you need a permit to travel freely, which you don't have. So lay down your weapons or my men will take them by force. They never fixed the stupidly long dialogue things as well, with the horrible gaps in between. You can have my weapons when you pry them from my cold, dead hands. We're such a badass. So be it, says the Peacekeeper Goon. Alright, so Peacekeepers, like I said, Difficulty is ramped up in the War in Kryta. They made it harder. It was for players who were still playing the game years after Eye of the North had come out, you know, and a lot of us had maxed out Discord way builds and all kinds of stuff like that, and we weren't being challenged, and this is what the players wanted. So it is hard, and they were quite clever about how they made it harder. There's no one build that can kill these guys, because every single enemy in War in Kryta has a random chance of using a different overpowered build, and they all use awesome builds, and they're all powerful, so you can never prepare 100% for what they're going to do. You just need to be damn good at the game. So there are still builds. I mean, having said that, when I played it, I did still just force my way through the whole thing using Discord way, despite the fact that they're basically geared towards destroying anyone who uses a minion master, but it still worked just about. So, but yeah, very cool. The other thing to bear in mind, actually, about the difficulty with War in Kryta was when it came out, you couldn't have 7 heroes. That only happened when I started playing Let's Play Nightfall. That only happened at that point. So people were stuck with 3 heroes and having to use henchmen as well, fighting level 20 things using like level 10 henchmen or whatever level they are around here, which was another thing that made it harder. And in fact, some people argued that if you went into hard mode, thus making your henchmen level 20, it was actually easier, because then they wouldn't be dying so much, because they wouldn't be getting focused down by the enemy so much, which meant that your heroes weren't wasting time resurrecting so much, which overall meant it was easier, despite the fact they're all like 33% more difficult to kill, which is quite cool. So we'll come out to Nebu Terrace. We didn't actually want to go to the Ascalonian settlement, but we'll come through here. And that little thing there, the reason why you might have guessed I read out the War Chronicles for today was because that's basically the event we just saw. A lot of the events around here are very, very sort of quite cool. And so look, here's a new guy, Shining Blade Recruit. Hasn't actually got a name, but they all drop down from trees, which is quite cool. But yeah, what was I saying about the events? There's a lot of events around here. I know there are a fair few around here at Nebu Terrace as well. In fact, let's just go to Nebu Terrace. It's just occurred to me I've been playing for 26 minutes and we're nowhere near the Temple of the Ages. It is quite a big, long run, so I don't know. Maybe we'll end the video at the Bergen Hot Springs, or should I split the video? I don't know.